We're going to look at what a program is made of. So all programming languages have some commonality, no matter which ones you're going to work with, whether it be C++, which is what we're currently looking at, or Java or Python, which I also have on this channel. Keywords are something that's pretty important. Keywords are words with a special meaning or intended purpose. We have programmer-defined identifiers, and programmer-defined identifiers are words or names defined by the programmer. They are symbolic and refer to variables/programming routines. We have operators, and these perform operations on one or more operands. An operand is typically going to be a piece of data, like a number. A number would be an operand. You also have punctuation, and punctuation characters mark the beginning or end of a statement, or they will separate items in a list. These are like delimiters. Basic syntax are rules that must be followed when constructing a program. It's going to dictate how keywords and operators may be used and where punctuation and specific symbols must appear. Next, we'll look at lines and statements, because typically whenever we have a piece of code on a line, it has one use case. It's in that line. We don't typically break code up in multiple lines unless you're like working within a loop or a method or something like that. Blank lines are not typically important. They are typically only there to make a program more readable. A statement is a complete instruction that causes the computer to perform an action. Variables are named storage locations in a computer's memory for holding a piece of information. Now, information stored in variables may change while the program is running, but you can also make it like final so it doesn't change. Variables are symbolic names, and they represent location in a computer's RAM, or random access memory. When info is stored in a variable, it's actually being stored in RAM, and you can access it through the variable. So you have variable, then you have value, and then you have your RAM. Let's look at some variable definitions. Two general types of data are going to be numbers and characters. Numbers perform mathematical operations, and characters are used to print data on a screen or paper. So with characters, you have whole numbers or integers, you have real or floating point numbers, and you must know what type of data the program will be storing in, because this determines what type of variable you actually used. So there's different types of variables for different kinds of numbers. You have like int for just regular integers, double for decimals or floats, different kinds of variables. So let's look at variable definitions after that. Variable definitions defines one or more variables that will be used in the program and to indicate the type of data they'll hold. This is going to cause variables to be created in memory. Variables must be defined before they are being used. So you can't use something without it being defined. And you can't just create it, you have to define it. So you have to, if it's like a variable storing an integer, a number value, you have to set it equal to, let's say, a base case of 0 or something like that so you can use it. Next, we're going to look at input processing and output, programming process, and then I promise we're getting close to actually coding in C++.